as a redshirt sophomore to the NFL. So it's hard to say we'll know that any day now, but it's just every day I get online and I got more bad news. It's been nothing but bad news for the Seminoles since we got shunned by the so-called committee. And the haters, there's a lot of haters out there, Kate. And
I know that.
So we're going to get destroyed. Their quarterback is playing, by the way. We're going to play our third-string quarterback again, the guy that played Louisville that threw for 55 yards the whole game. And I'm not down on him. He's a true freshman. He's 18 years old. It's a lot to ask. But Rodemaker, at the last minute, did not make the trip. And he's sitting out as he knows we're looking for a quarterback in the portal, so he decided to go. To Philly, who did great against Louisville, I don't even know what the injury is, but he just had surgery. So nobody knew he was injured. I don't even know what part of his body he had surgery on. I can only guess. I would say knee because he's a running back, so it's usually your knee. But I didn't even know he was injured. So he's going to come back next year, but that doesn't help us for the Orange Bowl.
No.
So we're going to play our third-string running back and our third-string quarterback. At the time that Jordan got injured, we had 4 scholarship quarterbacks. We're down to 1 because Duffy left. Now Rodemaker's left. Jordan, of course, is out. And now we brought up 2 walk-ons. They got 2 walk-ons as backups. So it does not look good. So if Glenn gets injured, you got a kid that was never even on the roster, probably on the scout team or something. So it's just going to be ugly. It's just all our skilled positions are out. So Georgia says, well, we got people out too, but the only person of significance is really Bowers, the tight end. And they may have a D lineman that's out too. So maybe 2 significant people, and we've got a ton of significant people out. So not making excuses and people say you're whining or whatever. It's just the reality of it. And if we get beat, to say, see, you didn't deserve to be Final Four anyway, but it's not going to be the same team that went 13-0. That's my whole point.
No, it's not going to be the same team. I don't think that Georgia even has anyone who has opted out at all.
Well, they do. They do.
Okay. The last update
yeah.
I was reading somewhere, there may only be none at that point. It may have been updated. But it's hard. It's going to be a different game, and it's hard to kind of cap off your season like that.
So, of consequence, I'm just saying, essential players or skilled players, whatever you want to call it. And then we just had a pair of D-backs leave. So, a lot of people, it's just a new age. I think we're now seeing the new reality, and this is sort of the underbelly of this whole NIL transfer portal, and people either are looking to see can they cash in somewhere else or get more play time. And I don't blame the kids. The kids that are not starting and not getting play time, I don't blame them for jumping ship. I mean, you go to college and do the football and practice to play, and if you can't fit into playing time, I understand that completely. I get it, so I'm not down on these kids for that.
No, what's crazy, Terrence, is that I'm not downing them either. And, they're just trying to stay healthy to be able to hopefully go to the next level and do the best they can and have a good career. What's crazy to me is I remember not too long ago, probably less than 10 years ago, when players would opt out, it was a really, really big deal. And this was before NIL money, too. So they would opt out because obviously they didn't want to get injured before they declared and went to go into the NFL draft. But then they were just given so much hate and just a lot of bad negative emotions towards that. And now we've got players opting out all the time, which I think they should. And now it's just common. But it's just crazy how the tables have turned, I guess. And how the tables have turned in college football, that's a whole nother story for another day. It's literally the wild, wild west out there right now.
Had we made the Final Four, these kids would not be opting out. They'd be riding the tide, going, with the dream on the national championship. So I think what happened with FSU was a kind of a double whammy. First, we got shunned, and all these kids left their hearts in the field, won those last 2 games by grit and defense without Jordan Travis and found a way to win playing the Gators at Gator Stadium and then beating Louisville, who had the best offense in the ACC. They were top 20 in every category in offense, and we held them to no touchdowns and only 6 points the whole game and won the game, even though our offense looked pretty miserable. So that was a good thing, and they thought, okay, we've done enough. We should be in. We're 13-0. We're conference champions, and boom, got slided. And I think that disappointment combined when they saw Jordan Travis. And here's Jordan Travis, who, was going to be a Heisman finalist and this and that and the other, and maybe not a first-round quarterback draft, but certainly second round for sure. And now he's not going to be drafted at all, and he may never play in the NFL for all we know. I don't know how long this injury is or how bad the injury is with his surgery and the rehab, and part of his his effectiveness is mobility, and how mobile is he going to be after this ankle? And I just don't know that. Nobody knows that. And the NFL can't gamble on that. So they saw their great player go down on one freak play. In a way, I can't blame some of these kids thinking that could be me. Why play this game that's now meaningless to them and risk an injury? And he gets so close. So I'm not here to fault like Coleman. He's going to be first round. Why take that chance? Verse, he took a chance. He was going to be first round last year, came back and played a year and had a great year for us, and he will be first round. I don't blame them. I have no ill will, and I wish him the luck and all that. But that's what's going on. And these other kids, you can't get in the NFL if you don't play. So sitting on the bench is not going to put you in the NFL. So a lot of these kids have jumped to other teams, and I understand it. I get it. But it doesn't help us, with our immediate situation with Orange Bowl coming up against Georgia.
It doesn't. And I want to hear from you, the listeners out there, on what you think about this. Join us. It's myself, Kate Thomas, and Terrence Gross right here on Tomahawk Talk. You can call in 850-623-1330. Again, that's 850-623-1330. Call us. Let's talk about FSU. What do you think? They have 22 players as of now who have opted out for the Orange Bowl. Give us your thoughts to Terrence and I. We'd love to hear from you. Again, 850-623-1330 right here on Tomahawk Talk. We're also streaming live, so if you want to comment on that. Terrence, the one day you're not in studio, we're streaming live. But we've got a couple callers. We'll go ahead and take... Good morning. How are you, and who do we have this morning?
Hello, I'm well. My name is Jesse.
Hey, Jesse. Welcome in. What do you have for us today?
I'm a little torn with FSU. I understand the frustration. I really do. The other side of that, it's two sides of the same coin, right? Pride and pity are two sides of too big of an ego. And them just walking away from it, which, if you're 22 players down, you're pretty much, the majority of the team is walking away from that game. And it feels like playing chess and flipping it, the chessboard, and just saying, no, we're not going to play it. We're not going to do it. Which, again, I understand that emotion, but it seems a little knee-jerk. And if FSU wanted to prove something, they would play Georgia. And they would play them full tilt. Now, I understand why people don't. But with NIL now, I think the players still get paid. So that argument's going out the window.
So Jesse, so your point is you think the players should not opt out. Is that am I understanding correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was it about NIL that you were saying?
Well, it used to be that players would opt out because they're going to go to the NFL and they're going to get paid. Well, with NIL now, they're still able to get paid. I don't know the 22 players what they're getting paid, but I'm sure they're still getting paid pretty well, probably better than you and I.
Definitely better than that.
To play a sport. Probably, doing a sport that they love. And I don't know. I just play the games. It is what it is. FSU and the ACC have a weird relationship. I won't even get into the conspiracy theories about what's going on there, but just play the games.
All right. Play the game. That's what Jesse wants to see. Jesse, we appreciate your time, and thank you so much for calling in. I did have one other caller on hold. It takes me a second to get to the conversation. Jesse, we're going to address this right here on air. Terrence, he says they should play. What do you think, according to Jesse?
Selfishly for me, I'm a Seminole. So selfishly for me, I don't want to be embarrassed. Of course I want them to play. But, I'm trying to be diplomatic, too, and understand the reality. So there's some kids that, because by the way, you got to look at the portal window. It's open now. You could do the portal only till January 2nd. Our game's December 30th. So that would be really finite. Play the game, then put yourself in the portal or something. It doesn't leave a whole lot of time. Although I've heard you could actually be in the portal and still play. So there is such a thing as going in the portal and playing. So I guess they could do that in theory.
Well, and that's a theory I want to get into. And we've got another caller, Terrence. Let's go ahead and
right.
We'll hold the thought on that one. Let's go ahead and take this call. Good morning. How are you? Welcome in. You're live on air. What do you have for Terrence and I this morning, and who do we have?
Hey, Kate Thomas. It's Ronald.
Hey, Ronald.
And
how's it going?
I'll make it pretty quick. I'll make it quick, and I'll hang up, for your response and Mr. Gross's response. I'm pretty much agreeing with Jesse. This is why I don't get so emotionally involved in sports anymore. The players are the players, but there's a fandom that we have, and these guys to not play. And then this is really for you, Mr. Gross. You ask, a lot of people hope the fans come out and everything, but we got 22 players that aren't playing. Why would the fans come out? I mean, I understand, dude, I'm Florida State till I die. Why would the fans come out and all this legislature, all these things that these guys did? I would think somebody would need to come out and make an apology for these guys not playing. They're going to lose a lot of fans, I would think, simply from this. We're fans, dude. We're not getting paid for this, but we want to see the players play, and I understand them not playing. I agree with everything that Jesse said, but as a fan, it kind of hurts, and this is why I don't get so emotionally involved. So please, sir, give us a reason to come out and see Georgia run roughshod.
I can't give you a reason because I am emotionally involved. Unfortunately, I'm a diehard Seminole like yourself, but I've been a season ticket holder since '76. I'm a Golden Chief. I go to the games. I sit in the rain. I sit in the heat. I've seen us get killed in games and just stayed there and watched. I'm the ultimate fan, but I would not pay a plug nickel right now to go to the Orange Bowl and watch that game. In fact, I usually have a party. Sometimes when FSU plays, I'll have friends over and, holidays, and it's fun to do that. I'm going to watch this by myself. I got an easy chair. I got a small TV in my back room, and I'm going to be all alone watching this game. And it's going to be like Custer's Last Stand. It's so sad. So I'm still a fan, but you're right. This throws cold water on the fans. But you know what I hate, though? Here's what I really hate. Is the people that are now blaming Norvell. I'm going, what? How in the world is Norvell to blame? Did he invent NIL? Did he create the portal? I mean, did he have anything to do with Jordan getting injured? I mean, or the slight. He took the team and pushed them to the max, and they won 2 games without their star quarterback against the Gators, are one of our biggest foes, at Gainesville. And then to beat Louisville, that was on fire, and beat them the way we beat them with only 55 yards passing and still beat them by 10 points. Norvell did everything he could. He left everything on the table. He is not to blame.
I don't think he's to blame either.
With that being said, what What is Norvell's mindset of it? Do you know what does he think about it? The guy sitting out.
I think my personal opinion, I think he supports, every player and their individual decision and what's going to help them, especially if they're going on to the next level. That's my personal opinion. You guys may have something different. Terrence?
Well, I love Coleman. Let's take Coleman. I love Coleman. I mean, he was like manna from heaven. He came out of nowhere. I didn't even, I'm on the insider. I know all the recruiting. I keep up with it. I had no idea he was coming. He was late. He committed to us, I think, in May. I'm going, I don't even know who he was. I started Googling who is Coleman, and I come to find out that not only is he on Michigan State, but he's their leader. Usually you get people that don't get starting time in the portal. This guy was the it factor for Michigan State, but he wanted a bigger stand. He wanted a bigger platform, and he got it, and he made the most of it. And he not gotten FSU, they wouldn't even know him, and maybe he'd go in the top 6 rounds, whatever. He's first round. He is the it. I love Coleman, but yet you still he sees Jordan Travis, who had the world ahead of him, and on one freak play, his NFL career could be over. So I'm not going to sit there and second guess Coleman, and maybe he's getting a little bit of NIL money right now, but the big thing, the goal for these kids, their dream is the NFL. I went to law school with one dream. I went to law school to be a lawyer. Not a paralegal, not a legal assistant. I wanted to be a lawyer. And so his dream, like most of these kids, and he's going to be first round. And to sacrifice that for the glory of one game, I'm not going to fault him. I'm not going to second guess him. And if I was his father, I would probably say, I'm with you. I'm with you, Keon. I understand what you're doing. And it hurts FSU, I understand. But he's got to look out after him and his family. Most of these kids, let's be honest, most of these kids are not coming from rich families. They're coming from whatever backgrounds. And this is a more than a chance of a lifetime.
It's to help their whole family, possibly.
Absolutely. So I applaud. It's just sad the way it happened. And it gets back to the committee. If I'm mad at anybody, it's not the players. It's the committee for the slight and using eye tests. Because everybody would agree that we're not the team without Jordan Travis. We know that. But we still won those last 2 games. Why did we play those last 2 games? And we won them.
To go to the playoffs that you're not in. To go to the playoffs, you're not in. And now to play Georgia with the fully loaded team right now.
Yes. It's going to be awful.
Yeah,
let's just injure our whole team at the end of the season so next season's even more difficult for us. That's what I feel like.
I actually thought the Louisville win, and I'm going to go ahead and go after this call. I actually thought the Louisville win was one of the more impressive wins of the season, dude. Look at what the defense did. My goodness. I'm going to go ahead and go, Mr. Gross. Love your passion. Kate Thomas, keep doing your thing. Love Tomahawk Talk.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I'm going to agree with him that I would say that Louisville game was maybe not, forget the season, that may have been one of the best defensive games I've ever watched as an FSU fan. And I've been a fan since 1976 when Bobby Bowden. I became a fan. My first year at FSU was Bobby Bowden's. That may have been, it's top 5 for sure of defensive outputs. I mean, our defense was lights out and shut down Louisville. And yes, it was a low-scoring game, but didn't they used to say defense wins championships? Didn't we used to hear
that's
that?
What we were saying. I said, you know what? That was literally what I said on my morning show earlier today. Defense wins championships. You guys' defense is lights out, and your offense still is. You just didn't have Jordan Travis, but goodness, with the weapons surrounding. This team was. They're going to have the most players go to the draft, and that's why you have so many players opting out of this Orange Bowl. That's why, because you were so talented. The Seminoles were so stacked with talent. They've got basically everyone is going to the NFL, so they all had to opt out of the Orange Bowl to stay healthy. Is essentially now the way I see it. Would we love to see them play? Yes, but I'd also love to see these guys succeed in the NFL. So there you have it. Look, we'll talk more football here coming up. This is Tomahawk Talk right here on ESPN Pensacola. Terrence, we'll dive back into that Louisville game because I want to hear more about that. We'll talk a little bit about the eye test, how that's been affecting the game of college football, and a lot more right here on Tomahawk Talk, presented to you by Gross & Schuster Injury Lawyers.
This is Tort Talk with personal injury lawyer Terrence A. Gross.
Hi, this is Terrence A. Gross. In 1986, the Florida Bar limited personal injury contingency fees through trial to 40%. At that time, I thought that was too high. I've now practiced personal injury law in Northwest Florida for over 40 years, and I'm proud to say I've never charged a client 40%.
Tort Talk is brought to you by Terrence A. Gross. Call 434-3333 or check him out at grossandschuster.com.
What'd you do this time, Brad?
I'm in the doghouse after my hunting trip last weekend.
Yeah, I was too. I blew off our date.
How'd you get out of the doghouse?
Stillwater's Day and Medical Spa. I got her a gift card. It took 3 minutes at swmedspa.com. She booked it this Saturday.
Saturday? So 9 holes then?
Tea time's at 8.
To enjoy a hassle-free guys' weekend, treat her to a gift card from Stillwater's Day and Medical Spa. Follow Stillwater's on Facebook or Instagram to enter contests and win great prizes. Or visit swmedspa.com.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of.
It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life.
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesinschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The Seminoles are here.
Down the floor to Green. 1-2 step for a three. Got it! Boom! It's good!
And looking for more.
Fletcher a three. Good! On fire! Cameron Fletcher! Look out below. A two-hand cram.
Catch the action all season long.
Fire up the war chant and plant the spear.
Right here on your radio home of the Seminoles.
Listen to FSU basketball on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Your home for Florida State basketball.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
ESPN Pensacola is giving away a signed Chris Wenke jersey, and you could be the lucky winner. Here's how. Simply download the ESPN Pensacola app, register on the app, then click the banner at the top to enter to win. It's that easy. And now that you're registered, you can win other tickets and prizes from ESPN Pensacola's app. So download the app, register, and enter to win the drawing for this one-of-a-kind signed Chris Wenke jersey. Don't miss out. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Want to win a signed Chris Wenke jersey? Download the ESPN Pensacola app, register, and then enter to win from ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back into Tomahawk Talk. Tomahawk Talk is brought to you by Gross & Schuster Injury Lawyers. I'm Kate Thomas, and this is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Terrence Gross on the line. Terrence. All right, we were talking just so much. The main topic on the last segment was about how many players had opted out from FSU to go to the Orange Bowl, and it's because of the amount of talent. Like I was telling you right before, that we hit several topics. We had a few callers, both Jesse and Ronald. We're also streaming live right now, so you can catch us on YouTube, ESPN Pensacola 1330, or on our Facebook at ESPN Pensacola. And then you can call in to join the conversation, 850-623-1330. We do have a caller. Let's go ahead and get to that. Good morning. How are you? You're live on air with Terrence and I. Who do we have this morning?
This is Sam Arnold.
Hey, Sam. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I've been a Seminole since '76, and I wanted to make a comment about the opting out.
All right. Go ahead, sir.
I don't believe in the opting out because I am old school. I've been through thick and thin with the Noles, and I think whenever the CFP shunned us, as Terrence said, it makes these players not want to come to a school that does not have a chance. And when the CFP did this, it made 30 schools that probably has a chance of winning a championship, and the other schools in the NCAA are out. And all I have to say about that is the young guys, they're doing it for what they need to do to progress their lives. But Seminole fans are sick across Seminole Nation. And we'll still be pulling as they go into Georgia. But defense wins games. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your call. Give us your name one more time. I had trouble catching it. Sam, long-time FSU fan. Sam, we thank you so much for your call. I hope you've had a wonderful holiday, and we'll dive into it. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, Terrence, I'll let you go ahead and address Sam and all his comments. I appreciate your comments, Sam. I kind of like the old school mentality. Terrence, where are you at still with this?
I mean, we both became fans in '76. That means we're both probably about the same age. And, I agree with him. The only good news, in a way, for us and other teams next year is we're going to the 12-team format. Doesn't help us for this year, so we were just a year too early in this damn thing. But they're going to 12 teams, and they made it very clear they want to have representation of all the conferences, like 6 conferences, I guess, and then have 6 at large is what they're going to do. So this would not have happened next year, but that doesn't help us now. So, yeah, I'm old school too. And I'm not a big NIL person. I said when they started NIL, they were going to ruin college football. And the portal, it started off just as a trickle. Now the dam is broke. And you just can't, once the horse is out of the barn, he's out of the barn. It's like Pandora's box. Once you open up the box, it's open.
And it's open now. It's literally.
Yeah. So let's just be brutally honest. I mean, college football is forever gone. So the old school people like me and Sam, we have to acknowledge those days will never be back. It's done, and these are now the minor leagues. So we're seeing minor leagues. Let me tell you an interesting stat. I don't know if you saw this online. You know who Brock Purdy is, right?
Very familiar.
Okay, he's the starting quarterback for San Francisco. He had a bad
Mr.
night
Irrelevant who's turned relevant.
Yes, he was Mr. Irrelevant. I think he was the last pick of the 6th round. And because he was last pick, and the rookie contracts in the NFL are all capped, so they don't get really big money unless they're way up in the first round. So I think his package is like $850, which is not bad. I mean, it's just not the money that you hear about. So he played.
Well, it's I think the least amount or what the average they have to give you.
$850. So he gets $850 a year. He's a starting quarterback, NFL, for a team that is now 13-4 and a contender. Had a great season until the other night, which we won't talk about. He had a really bad night the other night. But other than that, and then you have Arch Manning at Texas, who is a backup quarterback sat on the bench all season and is getting $3.3 million NIL. So you got Arch Manning not playing, 18 years old, at Texas getting 3.3.
I did not know that's how much Arch Manning actually. I don't know why I didn't know that was the amount he was getting in NIL. But
it's out there.
Wow, and
It's
I
out there.
followed him his whole high school career, so I'm very familiar with the way he plays. Okay, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
I know, but that's what it is. I mean, that's what's out there.
Well, if you're looking live at the video stream, you can see. I think he's good, but we need to see him play. I'll just say that because. Yes, he comes from the Manning
well,
cast.
Well, nothing to do with good about. I'm just saying here.
But without a snap, without even that's what they get these days. 3.3.
3.3, and a guy that's gone through college, got drafted barely, got a due to injury, got the start, and has not looked back. And now Purdy's viewed as one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So I'm just saying.
He is. They have questions after their game the other night with 4 interceptions, but 2 of them were tipped. So everyone said, don't get off his back.
The passes were spot on, and they got tipped up, and they were
right.
I watched the game.
Right. Yeah. Look, he's hanging in there, but FSU should they play? I just think they should do what's going to be best for them in their career. I want to be old school because I want to see him play. I'll never forget when this first started happening. I think I was at LSU. It was Devin White or someone like that, and I really just loved watching that kid play. I believe he's still with the Bucs to this day. Devin White is, and he opted out. And I've never seen a bigger media frenzy. Now it's just, I guess it's just more common. Do we like it? No, but you're right. The game of college football is dead. RIP to college football. Between the NIL, the transfer portal, whatever playoff system we had these past few years, excluding an undefeated FSU team out of the playoff picture. Then we moved to 12-team. It's the wild, wild west. Pandora's box has been opened. That's what is going on. Right now it's Tomahawk Talk. Let's get to a break. We'll talk more. We want to hear from you. 850-623-1330. Again, 623-1330. I want to see those phone lines light up. They light up in yellow, and you can also join us on the stream live as well. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is Terrence A. Gross. I've now practiced law for over 44 years. I'm proud to say that my 3 sons are my law partners. We have 5 offices throughout the Panhandle: Pensacola, Milton, Crestview, Fort Walton, and Navarre. If you have been injured due to the negligence of another, call us at 850-434-3333 or visit us on the web at grossandschuster.com.
Some of America's bravest warriors are returning home wounded. Here's one of them.
My name is Norberto Lara. While I was on a combat patrol, a rocket-propelled grenade took my arm off at the shoulder. I was discharged from the Army, and I've been working with the Wounded Warrior Project since 2007. You don't have to be severely wounded. A lot of guys have post-traumatic stress disorder. Being able to share your story kind of helps you wrap your mind around what did happen over there. My name is Normie, and yes, I do suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, but I'm okay.
Don't suffer in silence. Contact WoundedWarriorProject.org.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA, is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families, and one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This is Sarah from Fishbone Orthodontics wishing you a safe holidays. Please don't drink and drive.
May your Christmas be filled with joy, love, and laughter. This is Paul Simpson and Anderson Subaru wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hi, this is Elizabeth at Bobby Likas Auto Service wishing you a safe holiday. Please don't text and drive.
This is Travis Thompson with Climatech wishing you a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Mike Greenberg, weekdays 9 to 11, right before the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back into Tomahawk Talk. Tomahawk Talk is presented to you by Gross & Schuster Injury Lawyers. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. We're joined on the line by Terrence Gross. Terrence, we have been talking so much football, talking to a lot of the different listeners who called in, and thank you for your call. Again, if you want to join us in the conversation, 850-623-1330. You can text or call in. We also are streaming live, ESPN Pensacola 1330, if you are on YouTube. For Facebook, just at ESPN Pensacola. You can comment on there as well. But we were talking about the amount of players who have opted out for FSU for the Orange Bowl. There have been some opt-outs from Georgia. But I saw some interesting, I guess they're called X's now on X, not Twitter anymore, Terrence. And I wanted to read a comment I saw on X and get your thoughts. So this one person says, is Florida State going to be able to even field a team for the Orange Bowl at this point? Wow, what a shame. The chance to make a statement to the college football playoff, and you chose to just give up. Random person on X, but interesting comment nonetheless. I'd love to hear what you think about that, Terrence.
Hey, they will field a team. It won't be the same team that went 13-0. That's my whole point. So we have so many good athletes. We still have some first stringers that are playing. We have some kids that are going to seize the opportunity. So you got our third string quarterback again that we saw at Louisville. So he's green. He's 18. He wants to play. He's going to give his best game, but he's 18. This will be a second start on a big stage. We have now we're down to our third string quarterback because running back, who's good. He's going to be very good and chomping a bit. He can't wait to play. So there's some kids. You know, the good news is we may get killed, but there's going to be some kids that have been riding the bench with a lot of talent that get a chance to showcase themselves and are very excited about playing. So Keziah, I think it's Keziah Holmes will be our running back. He's supposed to be very good. We used him very sparingly this year, but he had some really good runs. I think he's going to be very talented. I mean, so he's not chopped liver. He's at FSU. But again, he was third string for a reason. So it is what it is. So they will show up. The kids there will play their hearts out. Norvell will do his very best to coach them up. But yeah, with 22 out, and not all 22 are starters. So I'm not going to. But certainly, I think a dozen of the 22 are starters. So it is what it is. We had the Miami kid, the guy that transferred from Miami, Jackson, who had to sit out because it was his third switch in the portal. He finally gets to start, and he's a beast. So we're actually adding a tremendous player on the defensive line. So, you know, I think Norvell's going to do the very best he can. These kids are going to do the very best they can. But it's not going to be the same team. So there are these FSU haters that if we get beat down, they're going to say, see, the committee was right. The committee was right. FSU didn't belong. And my only argument to that is it's not the same FSU team that got slighted. That's all I'm saying. Not making excuses. It's just the reality.
Yeah, no, it's not the same FSU team that we're going to see. Apparently, though, there are, and I don't know if we talked about this, but Brock Bowers and Mims, both of them were spotted not getting off the team plane. So that's 2 star players for Georgia that has opted out. And I saw somewhere else that said there's almost 40 players combined between the 2 schools that have opt out or decided to transfer. So everybody says it sounds like a lovely Orange Bowl, aka how exciting is this game going to really be? But I think, to your point, these guys who have not had a chance to show their stuff and to play on the field and show their swagger and the skills that they have, this is their opportunity. This is their moment. And what other better moment than the Orange Bowl to do so, especially a bowl game that a lot of people are expecting FSU to not do well. So what if they come out there and they just have some kind of Cinderella story moment and just absolutely dominate? And it's just craziness. We don't know what to expect, and I think that's the beauty of sports a lot of the time. But I don't think the percentages of that happening are very high. But, wow, that would be a great story. Great movie.
It'd be a great story, but I have to tell you, I don't believe in the good tooth fairy. I don't believe in Santa Claus for a reason. I'm a realist. So.
Well, Santa Claus came to see me. Are you saying that he's not real? I think he is.
I'm sorry. I guess your parents never told you. I apologize, Katie.
I'm going to keep believing as long as he brings me something under the tree each year.
All right. All right.
Right now, Tomahawk Talk with myself, Kate Thomas, and Terrence Gross. We're going to take one more break, but we've talked a lot about players opting out for the Orange Bowl, whether it's Georgia or FSU. FSU really with a lot right now. Call us, 850-623-1330. Terrence has probably a lot of the answers to your questions, or at least he's got a good debate. So 623-1330. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi, this is Terrence A. Gross. Did you know that Florida recently passed a major tort reform package? The legislature reduced Florida's general injury statute of limitations from 4 years to 2 years. They limited attorney's fees in homeowners' lawsuits, which could adversely affect homeowners. For any injury claim, call me, Terrence A. Gross, at 850-434-3333 or visit us on the web at grossandschuster.com.
Sergeant R.J. Anderson's dream was to take to the skies.
I've always wanted to be a soldier, but my ultimate goal was to be a pilot. I think I was meant to fly. I had just applied to be a part of the 160th SOAR Regiment, and I was going to airborne school that next Monday. So I decided to go on a motorcycle ride with my buddies. We were going through a turn, and that's all I remember. That's the day everything changed. I was told by the doctor that I would never walk again. Thanks to Paralyzed Veterans of America, competing in adaptive sports lit my fire again. They help you transition for the rest of your life to that individual that you want to be. Sports like hand cycling really pushes you to find who you are in that redefining moment after injury. With PVA Sports, I've found my freedom. Now, when I think about my future, the possibilities are endless.
For more information, visit pva.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
The stage is set for the 2024 National Championship. Hear all the big games right here as the road to the championship. As Missouri taking on Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, Alabama and Michigan go head-to-head in the Rose Bowl, Oregon and Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl, Washington and Texas meet up in the Sugar Bowl. Who will make it to the 2024 National Championship? Find out here on Pensacola's sports station, ESPN Pensacola. Sponsored by Patriotic Paving, VA Claims Lawyers, Cannell & Company, and New South Window.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy! What's your name? You know what I'd love? a ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Escape to the Pony Gentlemen's Club at 500 East Gregory Street. Enjoy extended happy hour and enticing drink specials from noon to 7, Tuesday through Saturday. Doors open at 7 p.m. on Mondays and Sundays. Show a local event ticket for complimentary entry and savor exclusive signature cocktails. Elevate your nights where sophistication meets indulgence. The Pony Gentlemen's Club.
Welcome back into Tomahawk Talk. Tomahawk Talk is presented to you by Gross & Schuster Injury Lawyers. I'm your host, Kate Thomas. We're joined by Terrence Gross. Terrence, thank you for joining us. And honestly, we actually have a caller on the line, so let's go ahead, get our caller live. Good morning. Welcome in. You're live on air. Who do we have this morning?
Hey, Kate, this is Sam again. I want to ask Terrence if he thinks that if Notre Dame would have been in our position, if they would have made the college playoff.
All right.
That's a tough one. I would probably think yes. You know, they're not in a conference per se, but they are Notre Dame, and I think a lot of it they're looking at revenues, TV revenues, and all these other things. So, yeah, of course, they went to this eye test for the first time ever. So it's the first time that a conference champion has been denied. But Notre Dame, you're right. They probably do play favorites. They probably, like Alabama nationally and Notre Dame nationally. FSU certainly has a great history, and Bobby Bowden, 3 national titles and all that, but we certainly got slighted. So it's hard to say. I'm not on that committee, but they certainly didn't go by the rules that they had followed previously. That's pretty clear.
Yeah, that they didn't, and I just think at this point we just have to accept it for what it is. It sucks. There's some legal scenarios and different things, but I think go into the Orange Bowl, do the best you can. I did have a clip, and I don't know if you want to hear it, Terrence, but I can pull it up. But one of you guys, O-lineman, Maurice Smith, I can't speak this morning, on his decision on why he wanted to play in the Orange Bowl. This is what he had to say about that. Well, one technical difficulty, that's okay. That's okay. Well, basically, he just said it was a no-brainer. Not quite sure what's going on with it, but he said, look, this is a no-brainer. He's another one for you guys that y'all still have a lot of valuable players on your team. So, look, go out there and play your best. Do we wish things would have looked differently for FSU as far as the college football playoff? I think so, but it is what it is, and where do you go from here, Terrence?
I am a lawyer, and I'm against any litigation over any myths. I know Governor DeSantis set aside $1 million to do whatever, and all that does make lawyers money. I'm not pursuing because we got denied. It's happened. We have to move on as a program. I'm against the litigation. This whole ACC stuff, I'm going to let that just play out themselves. I don't have a dog in that fight either. Again, next year, the champion of the ACC will be represented, period, whoever they are, which also kind of seems weird. So what if you're the ACC champion next year with 3 losses? You make it, you limp into the ACC championship, you win, you've got 3 losses. I think you're in. Are you the top 12 team in the country with 3 losses? Probably not. And I think what they're going to do next year is just accept the conference champions and then have at-large people where we're back to the eye test on the at-large people.
Yeah, I just would like to see some more consistency either way, whatever decision they're going. I think between going through an eye test and then looking at statistics, I do think an eye test, it gives you a good idea. I mean, and you admitted it, you do think the right four are in the college football playoff, and I do agree. But it still just stinks what we saw this year when you go undefeated, because what I think it does is it takes a lot of motivation kind of away from, maybe motivation is not the word, it takes the spark away from the program. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, especially right as you head into trying to get recruiting and then you start looking forward to next year. I don't like what it did for FSU, in my personal opinion.
It gave us a black eye in a way, and of course the whole thing a black eye. But you look at Washington. Washington has no semblance of a defense. Every game they played, it seemed like it was always 36-3.
Right.
And they went out. They had a great offense. Nobody could diss Washington's offense with Penix and all. But at the end of the day, where's their defense? And then Michigan had a great defense, pretty good run offense, not much of a pass offense. So, every team has its deficiencies to some degree. But our defense was one of the best in the country.
One of the best in the country. Your offense was basically that too, especially when you had Jordan Travis. Regardless, this is a year and an FSU team that will forever go down in history. I will say that. I will say that just through all of the drama and everything. And if anyone's saying anything about Mike Norvell, like you mentioned earlier, they just need to be quiet, because this is a man who's held it together, who when they had everybody on video to see whether or not they were selected for the college football playoff, all live on TV, you could see the look in his face. He puts his head in his hands. If I were him, I would have had to be thinking, what do I even say now? I don't even know what I would say after that happened. And then you're live on TV. It's like, what do you say to your players after that? But it is what it is. And if anything, maybe it puts more fire into this program, fire into the young guys that we'll see competing in the Orange Bowl. And I think you guys still got a great recruiting class, even though you came in at number 9. There's a lot of good weapons that y'all still have, and lots of good ones going to the NFL that we'll get to continue to see play, and I'm excited about that, I will say.
Well, I want to get Cam Ward. That's what I want for Christmas is Cam Ward. Give me a late Christmas present.
Well, if you believe in Santa, he might bring them to you, Terrence.
Okay, well, it may be tough for that, but anyway,
I'll ask Santa to bring him.
If we get Cam Ward, we're relevant next year. If we get DJ, we're better off than we would be. If we don't get a quality quarterback, then we're with Glenn, who's a true freshman this year, and we got a great freshman in the recruiting class. But you're asking a lot, for two basically freshmen to lead the way, to the promised land next year. That's asking a lot. Even Jordan Travis, it took him years to evolve to the great quarterback he was. He had to go through a lot in the learning curve before he matured. Charlie Ward, it didn't happen overnight. Same thing.
Well, it never does. Great things don't happen overnight. They take time. We all know that. I think there's weapons in place and guys on your squad right now who definitely have the potential, but we all are impatient in college football. We want it now, instant gratification. That's what we want in sports. We want winning all the time. We'll see what happens in the Orange Bowl. Probably what a lot of people are predicting, but hopefully it's a good game. That's all I ask for, and I hope that players get highlighted that need to be highlighted, and we just get a good game out of it.
I'm not believing it, but I wish all the guys that are playing very well, I'm going to be rooting for them nonetheless, no matter what I think. And I'll be rooting, but Vegas has already moved the line. The line's going to keep on moving, I think. So by the time game started, it's probably going to be Georgia minus 18. I predict they'll beat us by more than that.
Well, we'll see on Saturday. That's when the Orange Bowl will be played between the Seminoles and the Bulldogs. Terrence, this is our last show. We've got about a minute in 10 seconds left, what do you want to say to all our Seminole fans out there?
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm a Seminole. I bleed garnet and gold. I'll be back next year with this program. I'll be back watching the games next year and move on. And it'll be a brand new season. And like I said, we get Cam Ward. Things will be different. We'll just see. But I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and go Noles.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Go Noles. Terrence, it's been an absolute blast. We'll still have you on, I'm sure, time to time, talk some FSU talk as always. Go Noles. Tomahawk Talk presented to you by Gross & Schuster Injury Lawyers. Terrence, you have been such a great host this season. Let's see what happens in the Orange Bowl. Go Noles, and this is ESPN Pensacola.